Hello everyone, this is Lata Akula. In our previous video, we have completed the bryophytes, and in this video, we are going to complete pteridophytes. These pteridophytes, they consist of the main examples for the pteridophytes are horsetails and ferns. And these plants, these pteridophytes, they are also seedless plants, but they consist of vascular tissue. In bryophytes, the vascular tissue is absent. But evolutionarily, these are the first terrestrial plants which developed vascular tissue. What is the vascular tissue? That consists of xylem and phloem for the conduction of water and mineral salts, right? Here, these pteridophytes, they mainly grow in cool, damp, shady places, and they may also flourish in the sandy soils also. Like bryophytes, in this also there are two phases. Alternation of generation is seen. What is the alternation of generation? In gametophytes, what will happen in bryophytes? The gametophytic stage is followed by sporophytic stage, and sporophytic stage is followed by gametophytic stage. That means the two generations will be alternate with each other. That is called as alternation of generation. In pteridophytes also the same condition, that is alternation of generation is seen. That means the gametophytic stage is followed by sporophytic stage is followed by the gametophytic stage. In this gametophytic stage is not the dominant one, the sporophytic stage is the dominant one. In bryophytes, the gametophytic stage is the dominant one where true plant will be seen. But here the main plant body will be seen in sporophilic stage, not in the gametophytic stage. In the sporophyte stage, the main plant body will be seen outside, hence it is the dominant phase. And in sporophyte, the body consists of true stems, leaves and roots. In bryophytes, what we have studied, in gametophyte, there is leaf-like, stem-like, root-like structures are present, but here these are true stems and leaves and roots are present in the sporophyte condition. And the leaves are of two types. Some of them consist of smaller leaves, some of them consist of larger leaves. The smaller leaves are called as microphytes and the larger leaves are called as macrophytes. The microphyll condition is seen in Selaginella and the macrophyll condition is seen in the fern plants. And the leaves or leaflets, they consist of sporangia. That means at the ventral side of the leaves there are several brown colored spots will be seen. Inside the spots, the sporangia are present. The sporangia are present inside the leaves, hence they are called as, that leaves are called as sporophylls. Sporophylls means what? Spore containing leaves. Here the sporangia were developed on the leaves. The sporangia consists of sporanginous tissue which consists of spore mother cell. Inside the spore mother cells, the meiotic division or reductional division occurs, and by means of meiosis, the haploid spores are produced in the sporangia which are present in the leaves. In some pteridophytes like Selaginella and Equisetum, the leaves will be compactly arranged and produce a strawberry or pole-like structure. This is the strawberry or pole-like structures. This kind of leaves are present in Selaginella and Equisetum. And some of the plants, they produce a homosporous condition. Some of the plants, they produce two types of spores, they are called as heterosporous condition. The homosporous condition, only one type of spore is produced. Example, Lycopodium and Dryopteris is the example for the homosporous condition. And some plants, they produce two types of spores. Example, Selaginella and Salvinia. These two types of spores are, one is microspore and another one is the macrospores. When these spores are disseminated, the spores may reach the suitable habitat where the moist conditions are prevailing. In that conditions, the spore starts germinating. From the germinated spores, an inconspicuous small multicellular free-living photosynthetic thalloid develop. That is nothing but the gametophyte. What is that? Gametophyte develop. That gametophyte is called as prothallus. Here, that gametophyte, which we call it as a prothallus, is in heart-shaped. What is it shaped? Heart-shaped by means of these root-like structures that will attach it to the soil. Here, what happens? These megaspores or macrospores are produced, right? These megaspores, they germinate and produce female gametophyte. What it develops? female gametophyte is developed from the megaspores or macrospores, and which consists of female reproductive organ called as archegonia. And whereas the microspores are the microspores, they germinate and develops into male gametophyte, which consists of male reproductive organs like antheridia are present. In homosporous condition, homosporous means one type of spores are produced, right? In this condition, the gametophyte may be in monoecious condition. What is that? Monoecious condition. That means what? Female and male are produced on the same individuals. Female and male reproductive organs are present on the same gametophyte, that is called as monoecious condition. That monoecious condition is seen in the homosporous plants. And in heterosporous condition, what will happen? The gametophyte is in dioecious conditions. That means female and male are produced in different gametes. That means one gametophyte consists of male reproductive organs and another gametophyte consists of female reproductive organs. When the male gametophyte, that is antheridia, was matured, from that the male gametes will be released. If the surrounding water is available around the gametophyte, the antheridia produces its male gametes, which consists of flagella. By means of the flagella, the male gametes will swim in the water and reaches the female gametophyte. In the female gametophyte, they reaches the archegonia and enters inside and fuses with the egg, and fusion occurs in the archegonia, and then what will happen? The zygote will be developed and sexual reproduction takes place. Study about how the cyclic reproduction occurs, how asexual and asexual reproduction occurs in the pteridophytes. So, what is the main plant body in pteridophytes? That is, sporophyte is the main plant body, which consists of roots, two roots, stems and leaves. And from these leaves, the spores are developed, which are called as sporophilous leaves. The spores will be in haploid condition because inside the leaves the sporangium is present. Inside the sporangium, the spore mother cell, which undergoes meiosis and produces haploid spores. Those haploid spores will be released into the environment, into the air, and they are disseminated by air. When they fall on suitable habitat like moist conditions, only the moist conditions. If they fall on the dry conditions, they will not germinate. They fall on the cool, moist, dampy conditions, the spores will germinate into an inconspicuous gametophytic phase, which is called as prothallus. This gametophytic phase, it consists of gametes. These gametes may be the male gametophyte. It consists of two gametophytes. One is male gametophyte and female gametophyte. The male gametophyte produces male gametes and female gametophyte produce female gametes. The male gametes are anthrozoids and female gametes are fertilized egg. Here from the male gametophyte, that is from the antheridia, anthrozoids are released when it is matured and surrounding in the vicinity there is a water is available. The gametes are released. Those gametes, they consist of the male gametes, they consist of flagella for the motility. They have to swim in the water. So when there is water in its surroundings, from this antheridia, anthrozoids are released, which will swim and reaches near to the archegonia, where inside the archegonia fertile egg is present. These anthrozoids, they enter into the archegonia and fuses with the egg, and resulting zygote formation takes place. This zygote will further develops into an embryo. From this embryo, a small plant grows, which is further grows into a matured sporophytic plant, which is the true plant dominant phase of the pteridophytes is the sporophyte. Here, this sporophyte plant, it will grows into a huge plant, which consists of true roots, leaves and stems, and on the leaves, the spores will develop, which will further disseminate and germinates, develops prothallus. Again the gametes takes place, fusion occurs. Like this the cycle will continues. Here the sporophyte From this sporophytic phase, sexual reproduction occurs, and in this gametophytic phase, sexual reproduction occurs. Here, the fusion of gametes takes place. Hence, it is a sexual reproduction. Here, the spores are germinating and reproducing. That is asexual reproduction. Here, sexual phase is followed by asexual phase. Asexual phase is followed by the sexual phase. And that is gametophytic phase is followed by the sporophytic phase, and sporophytic phase is followed by the gametophytic phase. That is called as alternation of generation. Like bryophytes, these organisms also show alternations of generations. That means the cycles are sexual phase is followed by asexual, asexual phase is followed by the sexual. That is called as alternation of generation. Here, this the drawback of this is this gametophytes, the spores, when they fall on the dry conditions, they will not develop into gametophyte or prothallus, because only these are they will develop only in moist conditions. They cannot develop, they cannot germinate. The spores will not germinate in the dry, desiccated conditions. Only in the moist, dampy conditions only the gametophytic phase occurs. Hence, these will not spread easily all over the world. Only in few restricted areas where the favorable conditions occurs, then only these plants will be develop and grow. In heterosporous conditions, what is heterosporous condition? We have studied that there are two types of spores are produced, right? If they consist of male gametes that develops into the male gametophyte. Female gametes are present that develop into the female gametophyte. Here, in female gametophyte that remains on the sporophyte in heterosporous condition, the female gametophyte that remains on sporophyte for variable periods and that differentiate into zygote, and zygote develops into embryo, that all this takes place in the female gametophyte only. And this event is an initiation step for the seed formation. Seed habit is considered as an important step in the seed development in the evolution. Here, this heterosporous condition that leads to the seed habit in plants. Okay, these pteridophytes, again, they are classified into four classes. They are Coelopsida, Lycopsida, Cynopsida and Pteridopsida. What are the four classes? Coelopsida, Lycopsida, Cynopsida and Pteridopsida are the four classes. Examples for these are Coelopsida example is Coelotum, and Lycopsida example is Selaginella and Lyco. You need to remember Lycopsida example Lycopodium and Selaginella. Cynopsida example is Equisetum. Pteridopsida example is Bryopteris, Pteris and Adianthum. These are some of the examples of pteridophytes. Now, hello everyone, this is Lata Akula. In this video, we are going to study about some of the economical importance of the pteridophytes along with the life cycle of the fern plant. We see the useful aspects of these pteridophytes. The first important one is they are useful as soil binding agents. If we see in hilly areas where slopes occurs, in rainy season, because of excess rain, the soil present in the slope regions will be washed off. Along with this, the fertile soil also washed, and because of this, the fertility in that land will be lost. But if these pteridophytes are grown in that areas, they will bind tightly to the soil particles and stops soil erosions, and the fertile soil will not be lost. And some members of these pteridophytes like Bryopteris, which will be used as an anti-helminthic drug. These are anti-helminthic drugs used for the curing the helminth parasites present in the body. And some members of the pteridophytes like ferns are used as ornamental plants, which will be useful for the decoration of the houses and which will be grown in the gardens and parks. And some members of the pteridophytes like Marsilia, which is a water fern, it is rich in starch. It is used by some tribal people as a food. And some members of pteridophytes like Equisetum stems are used as scouring agents. Scouring means they are used for cleaning of utensils and also for the polishing of metals. These Equisetum stems are useful. These are the examples of some of the economical importance of the pteridophytes. Now we'll see the life cycle of fern plant. We have studied that the sporophyte phase is the dominant one, and the gametophyte stage is the not dominant one. Here the sporophyte stage that produces spores, and in this the spores are produced in the leaves, hence the leaves are called as sporophylls. And the sporophylls consist of sporangia. Inside the sporangia, spore mother cell is present. Here, see here, the sporophyte is in diploid condition. The leaves or sporophylls are in diploid condition. Sporangia were in diploid condition. Inside the spore mother cell, what will happen? Spore mother cell was also in diploid condition only. Inside the spore mother cell, meiosis takes place, or reductional division takes place, and that develops spores which are in haploid conditions. These spores, when they germinate, when they disseminated, they fall on moist habitat, dampy moist habitat. The spores will germinate into a gametophyte. The gametophyte of the pteridophyte is called as prothallus, which is a heart-shaped structure. So now this prothallus or gametophyte is in which stage? In haploid condition only. This gametophytic stage, it consists of gametophytes like male gametophyte and female gametophytes are present. Here the female gametophyte is Archegonia and male gametophyte is the Antheridia. The Antheridia produces male gametes like antheridioids, and the female gametophyte like Archegonia produces female gamete, which is nothing but egg, fertile egg. Here these are haploid conditions. These male gametes fuse together and produce a diploid zygote. This zygote further develops into an embryo which develops into sporophyte. Diploid sporophyte is present here. The diploid sporophyte is followed by haploid gametophyte. Haploid gametophyte is followed by diploid sporophyte. In this sporophyte, a sexual reproduction occurs. A sexual reproduction occurs in the sporophytic stage. In gametophytic stage, sexual reproduction occurs. So in this, sexual reproduction occurs, and this part is sexual reproduction. In this, asexual reproduction occurs, and this from this sexual reproduction, gametes are gametophyte will undergo will develops gametes. These gametes are fused and develops into zygote. Zygote develops into embryo. From that embryo, the sporophyte, which is a diploid sporophyte, is developed. From this sporophyte, diploid sporophyte, sporophylls are present. Sporophylls are the leaves of the sporophyte, are called as sporophylls, which contain, the leaves contain sporangia. That sporangia contains spore mother cell. That spore mother cell undergo meiosis. Up to spore mother cell, diploid condition only. But whenever inside the spore mother cell meiosis occurs, the spores are haploid spores are produced. So because of these haploid spores only, this haploid gametophyte is producing, hence it is haploid condition. From this haploid gametophyte, haploid gametes are produced, and these haploid gametes are fused, and because of the syngamy or fusion, the zygote will be produced. That is N+1 2M condition occurs, and that zygote develops into embryo like this. Sexual reproduction is followed by sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is followed by asexual reproduction. That is, sporophyte phase is followed by gametophytic phase. Gametophytic phase is followed by sporophytic phase. This is called as alternation of generation. Like this, reproduction in the pteridophytes occurs. With this, we have completed the pteridophytes.